I know who you are. More importantly, I know what you can do. Show me.
Please, wait.
Come on, you can do it.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
And I'd say we have a problem. Here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna pull the trigger. You're gonna stop that bullet from entering your friend's brain. Here we go. Count of 3.
No, please,
1.
no! I'm not who you think I am!
Shoot.
No!
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
That is one intense show, dude. Like that, I watched the first episode and damn.
There's a lot that goes on in it, and it's, it turned out pretty great. We're very excited to be able to show it to everyone now.
Can you give like a top line summary without giving anything away?
Absolutely. Beyond is about my character Holden, and he wakes up from a coma after 12 years, and unbelievably wakes up fine and has to come to grips with this new reality. I mean, our world changes every year, and after 12, he barely recognizes his family, his friends, and has to sort of see where he is in the world. And on top of that, now he has these unbelievable abilities and powers that he can manipulate telekinetically all this matter and energy around him. So it's a journey for him, and he tries to sort of figure out who he is in this new world with his new powers.
And plus there's the whole conspiracy element to it.
Absolutely. There are people that, of course, with these powers want to use him and manipulate him to be able to, for their own selfish gain access to these powers. So he has to sort of meet these antagonistic forces and try to overcome them for sure.
And figure out who to trust.
Exactly.
Because of his old high school buddies. Not all are who they see.
I was just going to say, not everyone is who they think.
See, are you telekinetic too?
I was just going to say.
Or not telekinetic, ESP?
Telepathic?
Telepathic. My Harry Potter training is coming back.
Exactly.
Well, how did you get the role?
Sorry?
How did you get the role?
Yeah, so it was such an amazing script, even on paper. I mean, from its genesis, Adam Nostarf wrote an amazing script, and the depth of Holden really attracted me to the character, and as well, being able to embody such a unbelievable sort of sci-fi genre that I have always admired growing up and watching, I really sort of love the opportunity to be able to take on the character.
So you read the script, and take me through the process.
Yeah, so in the casting process, there's a lot of, obviously, auditions and callbacks and network reads when you go down, and there's a sort of step-by-step, you keep your fingers crossed, and I just feel very blessed and honored to be sitting here and went through all the steps, and I got the big check mark at the end.
How'd you find out that you got the job?
It was a phone call that I will always remember that involved me jumping up for joy and yelling. I was actually at my friend's place, and I was in a bit of shock and 100% excited, and it was a great time in my life.
What for you was the crux of getting into Holden? Because the show is very action heavy, and it's very kind of, I don't want to say sci-fi, but what's the word? I guess sci-fi would be the word we can use, a heavy. So, but it's really centered around him as a person.
Yeah, it's a really fun journey to see this character grow up. I mean, he goes into this coma and wakes up with a 13-year-old adolescent mind in the body of a 25-year-old. So it's this amazing journey of him growing from this boy and seeing and making these changes in life that in teenagers we experience our firsts in so many different avenues, and seeing him grow from the boy to the man that he is by the end of the season, which was a really cool journey.
Is there anything you'd want to experience over again if you could go back?
If I could go back, I'd like to wake up with superpowers one day. I think that'd be pretty cool. I mean, on top of that, there's a lot of sort of fun things that he got to experience throughout the series that I think, I don't want to give anything away, but I think a lot of the audiences are going to relate to and see that, I remember my first this, or I remember my first that. So I think it's part of the show that I really love.
It's just, so much of life is like you don't live in the moment. You're always thinking ahead, and you don't appreciate how cool something is when you're doing it. So the thought of going back and being able to do it while knowing how cool it is that you're getting to do it, does that even make sense?
Absolutely.
I love that your character has that.
Absolutely. And it's the time travel, being able to go and relive those moments as innocently and as vulnerable as you are in those times. And it's definitely a very cool place to act with.
Can you imagine the first time you ever had an iPhone? Like if you could go back and do that?
Oh my gosh.
Or like the first time you drove a car?
I get lost when there's just an update on my iPhone, let alone getting a new iPhone. So yeah, I mean, I would be totally lost if I woke up 12 years later.
What was your first driving experience like, given what Holden's is, and it's not so fortunate?
It is not so fortunate. I as well had a bit of an unfortunate tale, which involved parking. I'm not very good at parallel parking.
Yeah, no one is.
Anything like that, which involved not quite nicking a car, but there was a lot of stops going on from my parent beside me when I was learning to drive, for sure.
Yeah, we're not going to, even if you nick the car, we're not going to say that here because, we're not going to be liable. Or,
I
don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah.
10 years later.
Exactly.
How did you get into acting?
I started when I was 11. My first job was a commercial that I did in the industry, and being able to be on set and observe that life was such an amazing time for me. And as a kid, I didn't really think I was going to find my career that early, but I thought, wow, this is something that I enjoy, and this is a job that I can do, and really just sort of stumbled my way and was really passionate about it through the industry, and just really feel blessed to be able to sitting here today having this role.
What was it about acting that resonated with you at such a young age?
Yeah, I was always interested in the arts. I love drama, musical theater, and really just personifying sort of different qualities in people. And even as a kid, before any kind of classes, I'd always take like stuffed animals or action figures and just sort of, like my Spider-Man, Batman toys, and sort of have these little sort of play skits, and they'd fight in all these action concerts. So I was always I loved that aspect of being able to act and give people voices. And when I could give voice to a character in a script, I mean, that just really fell into play what I loved.
What was the role that you booked where you realized that this is it, this is what you're doing?
I would say, without being too cliche, I think just, as I said, the first moment I stepped on set, even as 11, I realized that this is something that is not only a hobby, that's something that I really don't want to give up. As a kid, you sort of find your way through activities and sports and all these fun things that you sort of find your way into what your passions are. And I think as soon as I stepped on, I went, this is different. This is something that I'm not just going to pursue as a hobby. This is something I'm going to be in for a long time.
Were you one of those annoying kids that made your parents sit and watch you perform for hours with hand puppets and dolls?
Well, it was... Me and my sister were definitely.
Oh, I love your
performers as
parents.
kids.
They deserve a medal.
I have to give them the gratitude of exactly sitting there and being able to sit through little performances or comic gigs or whatever they were. But I
Put on comedy shows.
Not exactly comedy shows, but I like, telling jokes. And as a kid, you don't know performances yet. You just have little characters or voices or little things like that. So it was, paraded around the house at certain points, I'm sure.
And your parents were always encouraging?
Definitely. And I mean, they're both arts inclined, but not in arts professions themselves. But we're very encouraging and have always had my back. So, I mean, I have so much love for them and all of their encouragement they gave me over the past
They
years.
must be so proud of you that you're on an ABC show. I mean, come on.
They really are. And as I said, they love what I do, and they love that I love what I do. And I give all the thanks in the world to them.
In terms of Beyond, what has been so far the most difficult scene for you to film?
The most difficult scene? I think There's a lot of fun difficulty that I find in so much of the season. The scene that we saw today it encompassed a 2-night shoot that was all with the rain tower. So physically, that was very tough, but it was fun. There's also really fun emotion to play that's tough to get into. And as well as, we have a lot of stunt work. That was more of our stuntmen doing it behind me, but there's also stunt work that I was doing. So there's a lot of sort of physical, emotional, and different sort of trying aspects to it, but all of them at the same time are very enjoyable to do in the day.
What goes through your head when you see yourself all bloodied up and just beat up and looking like rode hard and put up wet kind of thing, you know?
It's pretty cool. I gotta say, it's like when you grow up, you see these action stars that are, getting, beat up and shot here and whatever there and make their way through from beginning to end of the movie, and they're the heroes at the end. And this is an opportunity to, see a character that goes through all of these sort of dangerous situations and you'd hope can get out on the other side of them. And in this case, as we just saw, he was able to defeat the bad guys. So it was very cool.
How much choreographed training goes into that?
There's quite a bit. We have stunt choreographers, we have stuntmen on the day. There's a lot of safety and protection that go in to keep us as actors safe, the stuntmen safe, as well as the people manipulating the stunts, because we have special effects, we have cables, we have visual effects guys that are getting in there with certain different aspects of it. So there's a lot of stuff to keep it controlled and also keep it contained for everyone to be safe and get the shots that we need to.
And you have wrapped the season, correct?
We have, yes.
So you're gonna not tell us how it ends, obviously.
No, I won't. But that's the fun part for me to know and for you guys to watch, because it's an amazing show, and I think that it's going to really keep everyone on the edge of their seats.
When you look back on the whole experience of shooting the first season, what do you take away from it?
I would take away, every scene was amazing to shoot. As a whole, I love the story. I think just the journey of this character from its beginning in this pilot to the very end is such an amazing sort of aspect of our show, and the depth that really you feel and sort of connect with Holden as you're sort of his eyes and ears at these times, and you feel these situations with him. So as he sort of grows and starts to make these choices, it's a really cool sort of transition, and I really love that about the show.
Now, he goes into a coma when he's 12, so he's 12 is middle school, right?
13, yes.
13, yeah. What was your own middle school and high school experience like? Because his seems, at least from what I saw, also a little bit rough.
Yes, I was awake for more of it, but it was good. I enjoyed school, but everyone has their sort of their trepidatious times of feeling awkward or insecure, and as they referenced the pilots, they're just on the cusp of finding out that they like girls, and that sort of, it's a very cute time of life, and I relate to that as well, as sort of growing up and just sort of feeling those childhood emotions for sure.
And also, I really like that the pilot deals with bullying. I think that that's incredibly timely and smart and important.
Absolutely. It's such a relevant topic that is a very unfortunate thing that happens to everyone, and whether it be physical, emotional, boys, girls, everyone feels that, and there's always this discrimination that goes on in the world, and it's something that we touch on.
Now, what do you want to see happen in season 2?
Season 2, as you'll watch the first season, there's a lot of cool, as I said, journeys and characters, friendships, love, action. So I can only hope in season 2 that we'd see more of that, and really, once now we know these characters, really see how they sort of intertwine and get to know each other.
And he also has to learn how to trust, right?
Absolutely.
Because he doesn't know who's who.
Absolutely, and there's this big of him waking up and not knowing who's on whose side and what side is really the side he's on. So understanding who he is, who to trust, and really know who the bad guys are and what he can do about them, and controlling these powers he doesn't know how to do.
Wouldn't that be so cool to have those powers?
Wouldn't it?
That's a good problem to have.
That was a great problem. Well, it gets him into a few sticky situations, I'm going to say, but exactly. It would be pretty cool to switch off the lights from across the room. I get pretty lazy in that.
You do it?
I was going to... No, still not. I try, and it's just...
You know what? You haven't had your coffee yet.
Exactly.
That's
what
the
I'm saying.
issue.
It's still morning.
Now, what do you want to do next?
What do I want to do next? Well, on the docket, we've got this show that we've we've been promoting now, and I can only hope that we're going to be on to our very fantastic and fun season 2, and just hoping right now for me that the fun part is to be able to show this project and be able to have the audience witness what we've been working on so hard, and we've had some amazing writers and directors and producers behind us, and the network's been amazing. So right now, I'm just excited to show what we've been working on and we've been so passionate with.
And I mean, the quality of the show, the cinematography, the effects, like that's pretty staggering for a network show.
It's really such a cool part and project to be a part of. That was shot by Lee Krieger, our director of the pilot, and we've had an astounding amount of amazing directors in so many of the episodes throughout the season that have really set a tone for this show, and it really is a privilege to be able to watch and see their visions come to life.
You seem to be so nice and laid back and just like upbeat. What's the biggest difference between you and Holden?
I would say that he's still a bit more, I wouldn't say immature in a bad sense, but he's finding out who he is and where his insecurities lie and how to sort of come to grips with those. And so I would say for me, I see myself as sort of more of a secure person, and I'm able to laugh at myself and laugh at my jokes, and I'd like to think that I'm an upbeat person to get to know.
And before we go to the audience, what advice would you give to Holden? Because Holden is mentally still 12.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I would say, even along those lines, is really just to figure out who he is as a person before people tell him who he should be, is really just finding out who he is, how comfortable he is as being himself, and really just letting himself grow as on his own speed.
That is great advice, I think, for anyone,
Yeah.
no matter how old
Thank
you
you.
are.
Yeah.
Look at you. Early Friday morning, and you're just bringing it.
Thank you. There we go.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And now to our audience, please.
Hey, Burkely, thank you for being here. What special ability would you want in real life?
Ooh, special ability. Let's see. I think I'd like to fly, if that's pretty cool. But I'd also say breathing underwater, I think would be really cool. I've always liked swimming, but as well as being able to explore all the water and getting across.
Like Aquaman.
Yeah, like Aquaman. Like that always comes in handy, I'd say. And in the shower, you can just kind of like manipulate and draw stuff on the wall. That'd be cool. So I'd go that. Manipulating water. Let's do that.
Wait, I have to go back to that. So, like in the shower, like you want to take water and like do objects with it?
Yeah. You can just paint with water or chill with water. I mean,
Like control water
yeah.
in any capacity.
Control
is what I'm
water
saying.
in a pool, in a shower, and anywhere.
That would be awesome. Imagine if
Very
you like
cool.
had the power to swim through the Hudson River, like you wouldn't get sick.
I know.
Like Aquaman could probably swim through the Hudson. Like
Telling
what? You could see so many amazing things.
Come in handy.
All right, next question, please.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Of course.
Are there any shows that you would like Beyond to merge universes with? It could be sci-fi or anything else.
Ooh, that's a great question. Let's see if I can merge Beyond with any other show. First one that comes to mind, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan myself, and so I would think the medieval aspects of sort of Game of Thrones and that sort of realm there, as well as our show being having futuristic aspects. I think it would be a very interesting crossover.
Holden could date the Mother of Dragons.
Hey, look at that. That's a big crossover right there.
Oh, yeah. Next question, please.
Hi, I just want to know how you prepare for the action scenes.
Yeah, of course. So the action scenes, there is, as I said, a lot of stunt work that goes into them, as well as a lot of physical preparation. There's harnessing that before you do any large stunt, the stuntman a couple days before will show you what you're going to do, what object you'll be either grappling to. He'll do it himself even sometimes. He'll have a stuntman do it, get you comfortable with the motions, make sure you're physically ready, and then on the day, there's a lot of rigorous testing and sort of manipulation of everything to make sure that you're safe and comfortable, and then hopefully it turns out to be some sort of effortless stunt that really you don't get to see the teams of people that have sort of made you safe, secure, and looking good.
We're going to take our final question from an online viewer. Cool. So Lauren would like to know, is it true that this is your first time in New York, and what are your thoughts?
It is very true. This is my first time in this beautiful city, which is very cool. Thank you. And you guys have made me feel very welcome, so I appreciate that. And it is amazing. I have had such a fun time exploring the even just the small areas that I have, and it is definitely a city that I will have to come back to and finish exploring some.
What's been the coolest thing you've done?
The coolest thing I've done?
This trip.
Come to AOL.com and do a live interview.
Yeah!
I mean, that was easy. It was an easy answer.
That is a proper answer. And when does Beyond premiere?
Beyond premieres in January of 2017, and I hope all of you guys can tune in and watch it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.